What is up, YouTubers, and welcome back to another chapter in the life of Lucas with my 5D journey. So, I don't want to embody the same personality. I want to kind of like, because it's shifted, so I can't like come back and be the same person I was, because I've changed. I'm watching The Day After Tomorrow. It's a movie, if you haven't seen it, it's great. The whole like ice apocalypse, basically. And they're getting towards the end, and you can tell by looking at the globe that like the ice age, like because Antarctica is the North Pole, Antarctica is like this, it goes down, covering half the United States, like all of Europe, it's all covered in ice. And there's this whole restarting, this whole energy of new beginnings, many things lost, and lots of emotional changes along the way, and seeing the relationship grow from people that had been neglecting others in their lives and all of a sudden being put into check of this is the most important to me. Beautiful. And I had this like feeling, and I was seeing all the things that have happened over the last like 18 months especially, and there was this profound sense of peace that started coming in. And to give you this small recap of like my life and where it's been, I finished my 2020 to 2021 dance season. I'm satisfied. I wouldn't call myself like excited. It's one of the best seasons I've had when it comes to where I kept myself emotionally. I felt very grounded with my classes and my students and my teaching and what we produced with what we had. I was very satisfied. That's been a word for today. And grateful. There was so much trauma that happened, and it was like, normally in life, we're going through a trauma, and they're going through a trauma, and making the connection, you can use your empathy, you can use your compassion, you can use your understanding, your reasoning skills to feel into that person and what they went through, but it's not the same. And even if you have been through that situation before, it's still not the same. Like, we all are having our own experiences. And this last 18 months, we've been having the same experience. It was all happening at once. There was a collective shutdown, not just of the businesses and of the socializing, but there was a collective shutdown of energy. There was this pulling inward, finding our center that had to be done, at least for me. We, who are we? Everyone. And something shifted. And I'm so happy that we all went through it together, that there was a collective check-in. And I don't know, it's the only time, and I think anyone that's alive, any lives where we were all affected the same. And there was different levels, of course, of effects. You can sit there and like pick my words, because someone in my head just did. But we all went through the collective experience. And 2020 was such a monumental year. There was this reprogramming that happened, and a lot of people exited. New people came in. Who you could trust, who you couldn't trust shifted. And it was so scary in the moment to go through it and to live in that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next. What's the next shoe that's going to drop? And it finally feels, as heat is running through my hands, it finally feels like we're at the end of the exhale. And now it's time to start inhaling and bringing new energy and new breath and life and inspiration and vitality and rejuvenative healing inside. And I don't know, it was so profound, the feeling. Like, it was just watching a movie that I've seen many times. I've probably seen it 10 times over, it's probably 20 years old, if not more. It's probably 20 years old. And it just felt so personal. Watching this apocalyptic movie, it finally felt personal. It wasn't like I was outside and detached to it. I was inside of it. I was attached to it. And immediately as I felt that attachment and became aware, it started to disintegrate and leave and become something else. And it was just, oh, it's about to end. Oh no. Also, I had music in the background. We can't let it end. The world can't. Let's put a new song on just because. I mean, it's a video. It's my video. I mean, honestly, I do these mainly for myself. I don't really do them for you guys. I do it for me, and it's fun to go back and watch. I went back and watched my first video, which, by the way, it's really interesting. So go back to my first video from 2018 and go like every 6 months, every 3 months if you're up for the challenge. But I go back sometimes and watch myself, and I have these aha moments about where I was, how I was thinking, what I was feeling, how my belief systems have changed, just by surrendering and allowing it to. It's nice. I feel like we're gonna want this one next. This song, in case you're wondering, is called Awakening Stars by Peter Kater, Kater. I love his music. It's fantastic. I think we already repeated it once, so we're going to the end, so this is the next one. It's scary going through trauma. It really is. And honestly, this particular eclipse cycle was the most intense I've experienced. And if you don't know this, eclipses usually come in threes. There's like 1 by 2 by 3. Like they come in these cycles. And when this first eclipse showed up, the lunar one, maybe it was the last one. When the first eclipse showed up, whichever one that was, I became really aware of traumas and things that I was holding on to and where I'd been putting my energy in the wrong places, and there was this tearing down of energy that happened. And then when the second eclipse came, all of a sudden, it was like I was at my max point. I knew it was time to let it go. I figured out how, and I let it go. And as we approach this last eclipse on June 10th, my fiance's 21st birthday, there's just this feeling of newness, and it feels light, and it feels expansive. It's not expanded, it's expansive. It's a growing energy, and I can just feel all of my energy centers opening and letting go and sitting back and saying, just observe, just be here, just observe, just be here. And that'll be the title of this video. Creative process at 8 minutes. I breed cats. I bred this one. She was from my very first litter. She was the second born. Her name was Goopy. Because her mommy, after he gave birth to her, dragged her to the litter box and dropped her off. And she had goopy eyes for a long time, didn't she? And then somewhere around, 4 months old? Is that when we decided to name you Anagaia? We had a Greek god theme going on. Her dad's name was Apollo. And her mama's name is Anastasia. And Gaia means earth in Greek. So Anna from Anastasia and Gaia. So Apollo technically planted the seed that made his mother turn to. Like in Greek mythology, this would be Apollo's mother if you go back far enough. Anyway, how funny that is. In case you're wondering, when you're watching these videos, you can actually, so if you're on your phone, on this part of your screen over here, you can click the cog and then click speed, and then it'll open up and you can do anything from 0.25 up by half increments, quarter increments. So it's 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2. It's great. You can go faster. If I'm ever sitting too long and you're like, what's happening? Why are you talking? Someone that I used to trust their opinion very well told me that my videos were too long, and I'm like, there are some videos on YouTube that are really long. Like, I mean, 5 minutes is nice, but sometimes you can't get the message in, and honestly right now I don't feel like editing this, and I just want to get the energy out of just saying I trust. So, if you've made it this far in the reading, At this point, we're going to go into an activation. I'm feeling activation worthy. This is from my Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. The way that these cards work, and this is for me, but if you're watching, I guess it's probably for you because we're all connected. The way the cards work is they work as a download. As you watch the card, it imprints an energetic vibration through the visualization into your brain. The longer you look at it, the deeper you look at it, the better it works. Coherence was on the bottom. I definitely feel coherent right now, so that's nice. I'm going to shuffle them 3 times and then feel on the cut. I'm going to shuffle them, cut them, and I'm going to feel through and decide which one of these is mine. It's definitely this one. Oh, this one. So before I show you this card, I bought this book recently, and this is going to connect in a second, called Kundalini Yoga. I've done a lot of yoga, done a lot of gymnastics, done a lot of dance. And that's ironic because the card I got, we're going to make sure this is visible to people's, is Tantric Journey. Now, without really reading this card, because I've only read through this card thing one time, and only partly, so I've never drawn this card for myself. Out of the 44 cards I've never drawn this card, and I've had it for 2 years. Someone else drew it once, and that was a long story. So I'm seeing self-love. With the Star of David energy, I'm seeing that bright pink self-love, definitely supported by Fellowship of Friends with the 3 dots inside of it. On top of that, I'm feeling this creative energy coming in where it's almost like, yes, you know how to love yourself. Who doesn't? But how can you love yourself more creatively? What are the ways in which you can look at your life in a more loving way? On top of that, the square on these cards always represents the outside universe and the boundaries of like basically your DNA blueprint, we'll say. And I feel like what's happening with this one is it's being lifted through divine energy. There's a lot of divine energy coming in, downloads coming in. With the rainbows now, I'm seeing like this illumination of DNA strands coming through. I'm also now seeing in the middle like this deep sense of intuition and trusting the self and being supported by a multi-dimensional view of the self. And now I'm on that yellow center in the middle, which is interesting because yellow is about willpower and self-creation and belief. It's your push through life. And because it's so small but surrounded by so many energies and colors around it, it makes me think to myself, once you believe in yourself, which is a really small step, it's a small step. Once you really stabilize and ground in your ability to manifest, everything else will come naturally. And I'm seeing lots of support in 4s right now with the 4 rainbow boxes on the outside, which is making me feel like this energy is coming front, back, side, your past, your present, your options of right and now, and right and left in the now, yes and no, duality. Now, what does it say? I think I've read the book one time casually. The frequency of Tantric Journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. Wow. Okay, so that was intense. Now, let's see what the book has to say. Yeah, this is number 42. And I literally opened a page away. I randomly... And I usually highlight these, and as you can see, like this one's highlighted, but the one next over, Tantric Journey, is not highlighted. So, the Tantric Journey, the journey into Tantra, is about expansion of consciousness. The word Tantra can be translated as that which goes on expanding. I said expansive a second ago. It primarily uses the senses as a pathway toward focusing the mind and ultimately letting go of the mind to reach a state of internal oneness. The small center in the middle. Yay me! Through sexual sensation, one of the most powerful sensations humans can experience, we can achieve a state of union within ourselves or with another. As spiritual beings in a corporal vehicle, we can access our multidimensional nature. Yay me! Through our physical body, letting our senses guide us into a vast universe that lies right beneath our skin. Wow. the vast universe right beneath your skin. We are a solar system, a galaxy, a planet, a star, all within ourselves. The Tantric Journey image shows the intersecting triangles as a reference to the union between masculine and feminine. Okay, Star of David, masculine and feminine. Where the upward triangles represent the masculine and the downward triangle represents the feminine. The purple represents connected to source as the basis of our expanding consciousness. The petals in the orange center represent the second chakra and the seat of our sexual expression, as well as our emotions and our creativity. The swirling circles, the ones in the center and the larger ones in the background, represent the part of our origin that is off-planet. The swirling circles. The swirling circles, the ones in the center and the larger in the background. Aha, the ones I saw, yes. Origin being off-planet. Blue is associated with clear expansion of truth, and the Sri Ranka is visible in the center as a representation of the integration that takes place through union. Squares represent the form-based world that we experience as spiritual beings in a physical body. Now, there's a meditation, but I'll save that. I, right now, want to sing a song. This video is getting long, but you know what? I'm in the mood. I feel like it. That's just where we is. So if I go here, I've done this on a video on our 60 journey, but now I'm going to do it here on my 5D journey because this song has changed my life. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. And maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. And you will be found. And you will be found. You will be found. And you will be found. And so I have neighbors and it's almost 12:30 in the morning, so I cannot be singing. It's 12:15, so I cannot be singing loud. That was a lot of fun. Red chakra. And now that we have the red chakra, if you've really waited, you're going to get the meditation too. It pays to wait. Put on some music that you like. Peter Cater, Light Body, Root Chakra. And there it is. Stand up and close your eyes. Now slowly start moving your body. Just let it flow and move in any way that feels good. And don't think or judge. Just feel the flow. Remember that you can bring this flow into your daily life, whether you are walking through the grocery store or sitting in traffic. The flow is available at any time. All you have to do is connect to it. We can do it together, guys. 20 minutes exactly. This feels more right. And I'm going to do it while holding the card because it seems like a good idea. So excited I got this card. And what I think we should do one more time is I'm going to give the picture one more time on here. I'm going to close the video out. But I want you to push pause and have your own tantric journey into the card and study and think about what I said and see how it downloads into you without me saying anything. 23, wow, 25, that's 10. So here's the picture. Push pause. Well, I don't want any, I don't want shed. We don't want shed. Push pause right now. All right, guys. Well, this has been an awesome trip today. Awesome trip into my 5D journey. And so I hope you guys have a nice night. Hope you do super well with your lives. Bye. Oh, wait. I used to say L to the 5th. And I still want to say that. L to the 5th.